Truman Capote's In Cold Blood is a non-fictional novel that takes place in 1959 in the small farming community of Holcomb, Kansas. The story starts off by introducing the most well-known, most giving family in Holcomb, the Clutters. The man of the house, Herb Clutter, ran the family's River Valley Farm, one of the largest farms in Holcomb. Herb Clutter had also been a member of the Federal Farm Credit Board during the Eisenhower administration. Herb Clutter's wife, Bonnie Clutter, suffered from depression since the birth of her first child, Kenyon Clutter. Kenyon was far from a ladies' man, always rather to be on the farm than wasting his time on a girl. Kenyon's sister, Nancy, was a straight-A student, the president of her class, and a leader in her town's 4-H program. All in all, the Clutter family was an ideal picture of the 1950s American dream.
The story then switches over to two middle-aged men, Dick Hickok and Perry Smith, both experiencing childhood trauma and neglect. Dick had been raised an orphan, going from orphanage to orphanage. He was never loved by anyone, and his only relative was a sister who he never knew or saw. Perry's parents were alcoholics. He watched his father beat his mother mercilessly, and then began beating Perry as well.
Both Dick and Perry had spent their fair share of time in correctional facilities. In one of Dick's trips to prison, he made a friend named Floyd Wells. Wells told Dick of a family who had a safe in the family office. Floyd had described in depth to Dick on how to get to this house from downtown Holcomb, which Capote told through the eyes of Dick on their trip to the Clutter house. Once Dick and Perry arrived at the Clutter household, they quickly realized there was little to no money in the family safe. Dick and Perry proceeded to tie up each individual member of the Clutter family in separate rooms and murder each member of the family with a 12-gauge shotgun blast from point-blank range. Very little evidence was left at the crime scene, only a sole footprint. The case would have gone unsolved if it hadn't been for the national attention the murder gained. Newspapers everywhere were talking about the vicious, gruesome murders that took place on the morning of November 15, 1959. It got so popular even prison inmates were hearing this awful news. Just as the head detective on the case was close to giving up, Floyd Wells came forward and gave a confession about his conversations with Dick Hickok on the Clutter family safe and all the imaginary money it encased. You are probably asking yourself, how can two men be so disturbed that they are driven to kill an innocent, amazing family? Well, that's where the aspect of mental health comes into play.
It is believed that both of the murderers suffered from mental issues. Dick showed symptoms of antisocial personality disorder through his persistent lying. He also lacked empathy and remorse, and used his charm and wit for manipulation, which is common of a psychopath. Perry showed signs of antisocial personality disorder as well, but was believed to be a sociopath from his violent actions that came out of impulse and also his inability to tell right from wrong.
As stated previously, Perry Smith lacked the ability to tell right from wrong and had little to no impulse control, which is obvious due to the fact that he murdered an innocent family alongside Dick Hickok for a measly $40 to $50. Once Perry and Dick were caught, Capote became very interested in the murderous duo and visited them in prison quite frequently. During one interview, Perry told Capote that he often experienced flashbacks to the night of the murder. In the book, Capote wrote, "Spells of helplessness occurred, moments when he remembered things, blue light exploding in a black room, the glass eyes of a big toy bear, and when voices, a particular few words started nagging his mind. Oh no, no please, no, 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 oh please don't, please," and certain sounds returned, a silver dollar rolling across the floor, boot steps on a hardwood stair, and the sound of breathing, the gasps, the hysterical inhalations of a man with a severed windpipe. These flashbacks were part of what Perry's psychiatrist described as dissociation, or the detachment from reality. These were the ways Perry coped with his experiences of childhood trauma and the fact that he murdered an innocent family. The following video clip shows Truman Capote talking to Perry in his prison cell about his flashbacks to the night of the murder from the movie Capote.
thinking this nice man is scared of me. I was so ashamed. I mean, I thought he was a very nice gentleman. And I thought so right up till I slit his throat. I didn't know what I did till I heard the sound.
Add it up. How much money did you get from the clutters that night?
Between $40 and $50.
To show Dick's mental instability, when he was asked by his prison psychiatrist why he molests little girls, he said, "I know it's wrong, but at the time I never give any thought to whether it is right or wrong. The same with stealing, it just seems to be an impulse." This shows a sign of someone being a sociopath by just acting out of impulse and giving no thought before acting it out. Another example of Dick being mentally ill is when they were in the Clutter household and had all of the family members tied up. Dick proposed to Perry the idea of raping Nancy Clutter, the teenage girl of the family, and after Perry told him multiple times no, Perry had to tell him that he would shoot him if he even tried to rape her.
To conclude, Dick and Perry both suffered from an array of mental illnesses, which in turn caused them to see no downfall of robbing and murdering the innocent Clutter family and the repercussions that followed. Truman Capote made this clear throughout the story. He wrote in a defensive manner over Perry and Dick, and tried to bring light to the issues of mental health and criminal investigations during this time period.